All right, give me just another minute, friends. We'll get to the new model. Already. Oh, maybe. Hello. It's me. Let me turn up my resolution. I do want to see. We don't need 60 frames. Hello. Well, my binds aren't working. Even though I just tested them. The heck? Does this one work? No. What the heck? Well, there was always going to be some scuff, right? Did they not save? Because that would... No, they're here. Oh, there we go. There we go. Hello. How are we doing? This is my new model, guys. The dress whites, very... Hold on, let me move my microphone. There we go. A very embellished model. It's not lore accurate like my previous one. But I wanted to give it a little bit more, I don't know. I don't know what the right words is, but definitely wanted to give it more contrast, more color. Yeah. Like the belt is inaccurate, the sash. Sorry, my internet is bugging. I actually have a weird kind of setup right now for internet. I won't go into it too much, but essentially my gaming and streaming PCs are on different networks. And well, my streaming PC has a pretty good, pretty stable but slow network, and my gaming PC has a fast but unstable network. Though I will have my ISPs coming out again on Monday, and hopefully we can at least get it figured out what the problem is. But yeah, new model, new me. This will be our model going forward. We might pop back into the old model for like some old model nostalgia. Also, Valero, hello, congrats, thank you. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, new model hype. Yeah, we will be streaming a lot for the next couple days to celebrate. We're gonna do some Life is Strange. Big brain, I like it. I love those kind of floosh emotes. We do have new emotes though, friends. We do have new emotes, and we have some follower emotes, some new follower emotes. We also have new subscriber emotes. And if you're not subscribed and you want those emotes, and you don't want to have to pay for it, if you hang out and you get enough channel points. In fact, let's discount that. We're gonna discount it for the peoples. How do I do that? Yeah, the dab. Let's see. We're gonna discount it. So, if you get 2,500 channel points, so give me 1 second to do that because I'm dumb. Redeems. Where are redeems at? Viewer rewards. Emotes? No. Drops? No. Sorry, I'm kind of dumb. Bear with me a second. Content, monetization, but no. It's not under settings, is it? No. You think it'd be under viewer rewards? Oh, sorry. Just bumped the mic. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if that rattled your brain. So this is just the rewards queue. Oh, power ups and channel point. What the heck is a power up? I don't even know what that is. Oh, this stupid Gigantify emote thing. I don't think it's that. I think it's weird that it's hard for anyone but the person who does those to see them. All right, I got it. Gifted sub discounts. We're gonna drop it all the way down to a whopping 2,500 channel points, friends. It's not a whopping. That's a tiny number. Oh, why am I small? Sorry, or why am I big? Why am I there? There we go. Hello. I need to adjust this so I'm further away. Thought I had it right, but not quite apparently. But yeah, 2,500 channel points. I will gift you a sub if you don't have a sub. If you do have a sub, I will gift one out to the channel or to a person of your choice. Yeah. Hello. Yeah, we're drippy. We're in the dress whites. And real quick before I forget, let me shout out Valero.
Can you hear me?
I can.
Does my mic work? Wasn't sure if my mic worked. I also have to apologize. I'm sorry.
Virtua Bro just resubscribed for 7 months. Timara one love, Timara one love, Timara one love.
Virtue, thank you for the resub. Let's go. I hope you're doing well. Yes, new emotes. So the new ones, actually we're missing one. So these are the new ones. I should have made a thing for this. Maybe tomorrow I will. Yeah. Plus we have the lethal dance. We also have a toothless dance, but I couldn't get it to upload to Twitch because it was too big, too many frames, which is weird because it's only 42 frames, and I thought Twitch had a 60 frame limit. So we'll have to mess around with that and get that into Twitch. So that'll be coming soon. But yeah, I think let me make sure too that I have my artist credited. So I want to make sure I have them credited. If you're looking for an emote artist, I know that Jinx for the PNG and Marky for the model are definitely credited. But let me see. Let me just double check. Okay, I didn't credit them for the emotes. Let me do that real quick because that's important. Gotta make sure you give the folks credit. So my original emote artist is still credited. I don't think that they're active anymore though. I know they made a move to YouTube. I don't think they're currently active though on YouTube. But my current emote artist is. And let me get them into the about section. We'll put their VGen in there. Can check them out. They have very reasonable rates, and they're very fast too. Very, very fast, and very transparent. Like they're very clear with how long it's going to take, and very good at giving drafts and asking if this is what you're looking for. Somehow messed that up, so let me make sure. There we go. So yeah, new emotes, new artwork. Actually, we'll show that off again. It's the PNG on my new starting screen. So yeah, Jinx did our PNG there with the sparklers. Thank you again for the resub. Let me also get you a shouty. Uh-oh.
Thank you for the head back, Cloudy. By Helios, I hope you have a great
We
night.
might end up rearranging what goes in what slot. We'll see.
I've been playing this one hand.
Getting my internet fixed, but I'll be.
I'm so dexterous. I've been rubbing my wife's feet
Yes,
with my right hand.
Yeah, I've been having some
playing this game with
internet
my left
issues.
hand.
We're stable on stream,
go
but my gaming
to
PC is definitely not on a
closed
stable
channel
network.
stuff.
So I'm working on getting that fixed. I have the ISP coming out again on Monday. Thank you for the resub and enjoy the emotes. Enjoy the emotes. I don't really have anything. We're gonna play some Life is Strange. But I want to kind of look at since we are I went on a vacation recently. I went to Vegas. How does this work? Okay, it's just gonna open a new window. Yeah, that's okay. That'll work. I actually went to Vegas. Can I full screen this? And since we're very Titanic themed, there's a great Titanic museum in Vegas that is like criminally under advertised. So my uniform, my older uniform was pretty on point when it came to being lore accurate to the Titanic uniforms. This one I took some liberties. We did some embellishing. Yes. So it's not what you would call lore accurate. But yes, there is a very, very good Titanic museum in Vegas. If you have not been, it is in the Luxor Hotel. I wish I'd stayed there. I didn't stay there. I actually stayed at my hotel was not very, very good. But that's okay. And I'm sorry if the noise of my my microphone just came through. But yeah, inside the Luxor, it's shaped like a pyramid. It's really cool. Weird spot. There's a lot of weird, like, just Vegas is just a city that's built different, right? Inside the Luxor, it is a big casino and hotel. It's got a food court in it, and it's actually a lot of the Vegas casinos and hotels are attached. So it's attached. You can get to the Allegiant Stadium from here. You can. It's attached to the Mandela Bay. It's attached to the Four Seasons. A couple other hotels. So you could just walk from hotel or casino to hotel and casino, and they're all attached, which is kind of cool. There's also a tram that connects all three of them, and that's outdoors that goes by all of them. So if you don't want to walk through all of them, you can use this tram. So I wish I'd stayed here, just because it was kind of like in the middle of everything that I was going to do, whereas my hotel was kind of off the track. But I got a lot of walking in. I got a lot of steps in. I did use Uber and Lyft. I did not rent a car. I've actually been not renting cars on a lot of vacations, and it's been working out pretty well, actually. Mm-hmm. I went to Denver earlier this year, but I drove, so I had my car. So yeah, this is the front. Hopefully, there's not a surprise Tima jump scare. I don't think there is. I don't think I have any pictures of myself in this. We'll see. This is the front of the exhibition. It is really hard. Like, the casinos are super confusing. I think that's part of the reason why people don't even know this is here. Like, people from Vegas didn't even know this was here. And it's one of the best Titanic, like, one of the most best Titanic museums like anywhere. It's got so much stuff in it. But it's in the back of the Luxor. You have to really kind of navigate. It took me forever to find it. So it's got all kinds of artifacts. The artifacts have been actually raised up. They have some things that they've recreated, but most of the stuff anything that you see that's in like these thick glass cases, these are all artifacts that were brought up by submersible from Titanic. So this is some of the winching stuff. Oh, this is a furnace indicator. So these are pretty cool. These were actually would have been in the boiler room of where the Titanic's boilers were. And so when the bridge orders more speed or less speed, the bridge telegraphs will ring back to the engine room, and the engineers in the engine room have these telegraphs that will go to the boilers where they can tell them how to fire the boilers. So they can tell them to fire more boilers, or they can tell them to stoke, to put less coal in the boilers that are already fired. Mhm. It was actually the stokers or the firemen who shoveled the coals into the boilers was actually a pretty highly skilled job. It wasn't just throwing as much coal as you could in the boiler. There was a cadence to how the boilers had to be fired and how they had to be stoked, and it was based on the desired steam that needed to be raised to drive the ship. So they had a cadence to firing them. The boilers were double ended, so there was a firebox on both sides of the boilers, and firemen would be on each side, and they couldn't open both sides at the same time. So everything had to be timed so that the forward they faced forward and aft towards the bow of the ship and towards the stern. So they had to know when to open each firebox on which side. So there's a huge cadence, and that cadence would speed up or slow down depending on the engine condition. So they had to really memorize how to fire the boilers. Timed whistle control. So when they were in fog, they would or in conditions where they didn't have good visibility, they would blow their whistle periodically, and they had a timer that would automatically blow the whistle. Pretty neat. And these are the whistles from the Titanic. These are all things that were pulled up from the bottom. So actually, I'm not sure if these whistles I think these whistles were, yeah. But they're massive. There was one on every set of funnel. Titanic had 4 funnels, but only the first 2 were actually functional, and they were connected by to steam pipes, and the steam would blow through the funnels. Titanic's whistles were actually unique because most ships' whistles were actually like they would have like a diaphragm that would basically buzz really, really loudly. Titanic's whistles were actually like essentially pipe organs. So they would actually, like more modern whistles, they would kind of have a like a tuned sound to them, like a whistle. Yeah. This is a third class room. It was in a bunk configuration. They had a couple different configurations for third class, but they tended to be much denser and much smaller. So it's a really small, really small room for 4 people. But the Titanic's, even the third class accommodations were still really, really good. And Titanic, not just Titanic, but there was incentive. The third class passengers brought in the most revenue for the ships. They weren't the most profitable, so each third class passenger only made Titanic a little bit of money. But since Titanic carried so many more third class than any other, and they weren't expensive to carry those passengers, they can carry them very densely. They were actually the revenue generator for ocean liners. There wouldn't be ocean liners without the third or steerage class, is what they called them. And they were incentivized to make sure that they had a good journey, because when they were primarily coming to the United States, and when they were immigrating to the United States from Europe, they had to go through various border control checkpoints, Ellis Island being one of the more famous ones in New York. And then we come to Ellis Island, and if they were turned away because of illness, if the passengers were too sick, then they had to be shipped back to Europe at the line's expense. So they may not go back on a White Star Line ship. They may go back on, Cunard or some other liner, but White Star had to pay for it, or whoever dropped them off, whatever company dropped them off. So they were incentivized to make sure, first of all, when their passengers boarded, they would meet a doctor, or a doctor would, make sure that they're well enough to travel, and that they're not going to get, if they are sick, that they're going to probably get better or well enough by the time they get to the United States. Because the United States, they would quarantine anyone who was sick for a certain amount of time, and let them have a chance to get better. And if they couldn't get better, then they would ship it back, and White Star would have to pay for that, which of course would not be a very good business model if too many passengers were getting turned back. I think that's how airlines operate now. I'm not sure. But if you like, if you go to a country where there's visa on arrival, or a country that requires a visa and you don't have a visa, whenever you go on an international flight, like the airlines have to vet you to a certain extent to make sure that you can actually get into the country you're flying to, because I think they have to pay if you get stranded somewhere. This is a crock pot, old school crock pot. It's kind of weird how like just similar it is to like a modern crock pot. It's just a big ceramic crock. Um, Kind of neat. Some dishes, lots and lots of dishware. This is like the fancier stuff. Um, oh, tip basin for water. So this would have been, I think, second class. So they would have these full of water. They could wash their hands, wash their face with them. First class passengers had running water. I don't think all the first class actually had running water. Cool. Yeah, yeah. This museum is really, really cool. I would highly recommend checking it out if you're in Vegas. And it's very like it's not well advertised at all. It is so poorly advertised. Like so many people from Vegas I talked to didn't even know this museum existed. Oh, you live in Vegas. Oh, I know you were. You said you were in Vegas. I didn't know you lived in Vegas. Oh, that's cool. You had no idea. Yeah, I would say it's in the Luxor Hotel. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Check it out. Check it out. Um, yeah, I didn't know that you lived there. That's cool. Um, some flower vases and a carpet. It's crazy that this stuff survived for so long. I mean, this stuff is all over 100 years old. It survived the wreck. It survived the plunge. Titanic's like 2.5 miles down. It got all the way down and it survived. Pretty cool. White Star Line logo on the vase. Some coffee mugs, or just mugs, I guess. Again with a White Star Liner logo on it. There was a lot of like the like regalia of the ship. There's like the ship lines were very like proud of their like, oh, I got a close up of it. They're very proud. It's just it's so weird that this was on the Titanic, to me at least. But yeah, they were very proud, and had a lot of like pageantry. Some more various dishware. A lot of this was raised up. Um, a lot of it has the logo, the White Star logo on it. Food molds for the first and second class. So make their dishes look fancy. Oh, these are the landing deck letters. These would tell you where you were going. Like when you were coming on the ship, you would be at this specific location. I'm not sure how these were organized, but basically signage to say what part of the ship you're entering. And it's crazy. Yeah, the wood survived. So, and I think these are brass, the actual letters, and they've kind of imprinted on the wood that they were hung on. Cherub. They had several cherubs, especially in the grand staircase, which you can kind of see in the reflection behind me. They were decorative. There's the famous one is actually called Honor and Glory. It's the famous one on the grand staircase. I couldn't take a picture of the grand staircase. It was a recreation. Of course, they didn't bring up the Titanic grand staircase. One of the more famous, if you one of the more famous things on Titanic. They actually had two, the forward and after grand staircases. So yeah, these are some of the more like famous pictures. That one's really low resolution. Oh, hello. But yeah, the grand staircase. it was a landing for the first class passengers. The highlighted statue here is the one that's called Honor and Glory. Smaller, less famous brother, Ford Grand Expedition of 1987. Oh, so the smaller one was in the aft grand staircase. So there was the forward grand staircase, which is the famous, the like when we see. There was also one in the aft part of the ship. Various tiles and other decorations. Yeah, grand staircase was without a doubt one of its most spectacular features. Ayo, Swole. New Tim, yes. It's a new me. It's a new me. Hello. New me, new emotes. I hope you're doing well. I haven't done a lot of playing around with this model, unfortunately. So I might be a little bit. It might be a little rough. I'll definitely need to do some more tweaking. But it looks good. It looks really good. My artist did a very good job of the artwork of the rigging. But obviously you got to go through and tweak some stuff. I did tweak some things, so I think it's acceptable. So yeah, in the dress whites, Titanic uniform, not lore accurate, very embellished, but I love it. This is what I wanted. My artist did a very good job. The red sash I got, of course, is not lore accurate. Is not lore accurate. But welcome in. We're just going over a few pics I took of my trip to Vegas. I was in Vegas. I went to one of the places I went was there's a Titanic museum. There's a Titanic museum in Vegas. It is really good. It's in the Luxor Hotel. It's the hotel that's the big pyramid in Vegas. And it's a really good museum. A lot of artifacts that were brought up in various submersible expeditions and were preserved. And yeah, now you can see them. You can see little parts of the Titanic, little pieces of the Titanic, and big pieces of the Titanic. Actually, they have, I think, the largest. I think they have the largest piece of Titanic in the world. I think. I hope you're doing well. We're going to be streaming a lot these next few days as well. We're going to be streaming a lot the next few days. I'm going to be streaming tomorrow morning, Friday morning, and Saturday morning. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. You wouldn't expect in a casino resort in Vegas to find one of the biggest collection of Titanic artifacts, but you know, Vegas is a crazy town, man. You never know what you're gonna get in Vegas. Let's see. There's some jewelry, which you know, this is one of the things that these are kind of the things that did kind of bother me a little bit. There are a lot of personal effects, and I was taking a lot of pictures, and after a point, I was kind of like, yeah, maybe I don't feel good about taking pictures of the personal effects because it's like Titanic is a mass gravesite, right? It is a gravesite, so I'm glad that they preserved a lot of this stuff because it's not gonna. A lot of not everything's gonna last forever. The steel is going to break down. The wood is going to obviously break down. Some of the brass and stainless steel and diamonds and things like that, they'll last for a very long time. But it is a gravesite, and it's like I think the personal effects. I feel it's. I have a mixed feelings about removing those. Yeah. No, it's yeah. We are crazy people. Yeah, Vegas is wild. It was fun. It's a recreation of a first class stateroom. Um, yeah, I mean, very nice stateroom. I wouldn't mind staying there. Well, not on the Titanic, on some other ship, on the Olympic. The Olympic was actually, so the Titanic was an Olympic class ship. Generally, what that means is ships are usually built in flights, so there might be 2 or 3 or 4 ships of very similar design. Olympic was the first ship of the Olympic class, followed by Titanic, followed by Britannic. Both Titanic and Britannic sunk. Olympic survived and was later scrapped in the 30s. But at the time, before Titanic sank, Olympic was far more famous than Titanic. When Titanic launched, it was, there was a lot of fanfare, but it was just like, it wasn't, Olympic was the famous ship. It was the kind of the flagship of the White Star Line, and Titanic took over that fame after it sunk on its maiden voyage, because that's nuts, right? One of the greatest loss of life at sea ever. Not the greatest, but one of the greatest. And so yeah, Titanic wasn't that big of a deal, because it's like, oh, been there, done that, next big ship, because Titanic was only slightly bigger than Olympic, only like a few feet bigger. They're essentially identical. There was a lot of there was some, not a lot. There was some improvements in Titanic. There was some changes. Most of them subtle. Most of them more cosmetic than functional. But yeah, Titanic was the more famous ship. A lot of times when you see pictures of Titanic, most of them are actually of Olympic. Yeah, here's another thing. This is this isn't the one that bothered me the most, but this is when I started to kind of feel icky about taking pictures of the personal effects, because it's like, man, someone could have been wearing that shoe, and we snatched it up. Alligator skin wallet. Howard Irving. Irwin. I can't remember. I think this guy actually survived. I can't remember. Howard. Did he survive? I can't remember. Oh. Okay, his possessions were on the ship, but he wasn't for some reason. Huh. Not sure what happened there. I'll have to look that up. Some money that was recovered. And I was actually okay with the money. And it's actually very interesting, because it's like very, like these bills, it's hard to tell in the picture, but these bills are freaking huge. Like, this is an old US $1 bill. This thing was like, I don't want to say double the size, but it was like 50% bigger than a normal dollar bill, or a modern dollar bill. They were huge. You can see how, like, compared to the playing cards, like how big they are. There was a lot of gambling on Titanic. They do like to gamble. There's a lot of gambling in Vegas. Yes, got a little close up. There was also, I think there was like gold bonds or something like that. They're like, because this is back when, I think, yeah, we were still on the gold standard. So US is still on the gold standard, but there were actual notes that were designed for trading, or for like buying gold from the Federal Reserve, which is kind of cool. I bet they'd still be valid. I wonder if all these would still be valid. Of course, they're worth way more than $1. First class chandelier. Really, really cool. Did I get a close up? No, I didn't. Like, you could still see little pieces of like wire, and some of the things you could see little bits of glass. I don't think in this one you can, but in some of them you could see, actually, it's crazy that there's still like little bits of glass in there. But also the condition of this thing, and just how like intricate and well crafted it was. It looks absolutely gorgeous. First class chandelier. And this I thought was really cool. These are some of the floor tiles. And if you noticed, so these are floor tiles that were on Titanic. This design of floor tiles, if you look at my chatting screen, very similar. My artist Jinx did a very like I just sent her a couple of pictures of the this is a rendition of Titanic's radio room, by the way. So Titanic had a Marconi wireless radio that would send radio messages. It can only send a tone or a spark. So they would send encoded radio messages using Morse code, which is a series of dots and dashes describing letters of the alphabet as well as numbers. And they could send messages using a little key that they would tap to type out the Morse code. Invented, some say it was actually invented by Nikola Tesla and was stolen by Marconi. Tesla did dabble in radios and might have made a similar device, but you know, I don't want to get in the weeds of that, but there is controversy that Nikola Tesla invented the Marconi wireless radio and it was stolen. But Marconi was alive at the time, so he had the Marconi company. It still exists as, I want to say it's BAE now. I might be wrong, but it's bought up and its patents and shops were bought up, but part of it still exists today. But yeah, so the radio room, they didn't have tiles. So in the radio room and up in the upper decks, they actually use linoleum. So they have these floors are actually the linoleum floors and not the actual ceramic tiles, because higher up in the ship, you don't want all that weight. Too much weight in the top of the ship will significantly impact the stability of the ship and, you know, could cause you to list and capsize, which is not good. It just means there's that it'll severely reduce how much weight you can carry. So on the top of the ships, they would use linoleum. And actually linoleum didn't have the negative connotation back then than it has today. It wasn't considered cheap. It actually wasn't cheap. Linoleum was actually more expensive than ceramic tiles. So it was actually kind of considered kind of a bougie material. But it was a way to make the ships more lightweight, especially on the top side. The radio room was on the boat deck, which is the very top deck of the ship. It was a little bit behind the bridge in front of it was like between officers' quarters. First class room tile. First class smoking room. Very, very fashionable. I actually think this might be a picture of Olympic. I'm not sure. You see the same design in the carpet, or similar design to the first class tiles, but this is actually carpet. It's or this might be linoleum too. I can't remember. I don't think you'd want carpet in a smoking room. Some more. These are third class dishes. Much simpler than the second and first class dishes, but they still work. And the third class passengers did get it was not nearly as fancy as the second and first class food, but they got very, very good food. Because again, it was important to keep the passengers safe. One major cause of illness was the food. So the food was, you know, really thought out how they fed, especially the third class passengers, and what they fed them when. They often would feed them a very light meal in the evening with, you know, saltine crackers, soda crackers to help, you know, keep their stomachs, you know, calm, keep the acids from bubbling up too much. So they really thought it out to try to keep passengers from getting sick, because that's costly for them, and you know it's just good. But yeah, it affected their bottom line if a lot of passengers got sick. So in the third class, they did get very good meals because, again, if they underfed them, then the passengers would bring food on the ship, and that is a huge disease vector. You know, it's a ship. It's going to be humid. It's going to be hot. It's not going to be, you know, it's going to be damp. Food storage is not. It's very cramped quarters in third class. Food storage is not going to work well. There's rats on the ship. It'll bring more rats onto the ship. So, yeah, they made sure that they fed them pretty well. Some of the cutlery. This is really cool. This is a creation that they made of. They have some lights. Show the stars, but this is a deck. So this is the deck right below the boat deck where the radio room is. not necessarily right below the radio room, but this is the second deck on the ship. A partially enclosed um, deck A with this. This is a part of the first class promenade, where they there's first class cabins on the right side that open out onto this onto the promenade, and you can get a very nice view of the ocean. Mm-hmm. They would also the plan. They didn't do a full lifeboat drill. They did a lifeboat drill, but they didn't do a full lifeboat drill. They only they did a pier side lifeboat drill, and they only involved a couple of the crew and a couple of officers. So it wasn't a very good lifeboat drill. But Titanic did do a pier side lifeboat drill, and they also tested lifeboats. Yo, Jay the Fox, hello. Lemonade, hello. Thank you for the raid, friendo. Goats on Boats, welcome in. Neil's that boy. Hello, welcome. Sir Lemonade, welcome in, welcome in. How was the Phasmo? How was the Phasmo? Hope you're doing well. Nice look. Thank you. Thank you. Very hard. Yeah. Yeah, Phasmo. It was great. Good. I have actually not played it. I need to play it before. Well, I need to play it. I keep saying that, but I keep not playing it. I love Phasmo. Hello, everyone. This is my new model. Hello, hello. Welcome in Sir Lemonade and Lemonade Raiders. If you need to do your after stream care and hop out, please take care of yourselves. We'll be here for a while. New model looks great. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it looks very good. I still probably need to do a little bit of tweaking. I'm gonna watch some of the VOD and see how I look. See how I did a little bit of tweaking, but not a whole lot. Not a whole lot yet. Yeah. Halloween time, you have to play. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm gonna, because tomorrow we're gonna play. Well, I'm gonna play Life is Strange. We've already played the first 2 chapters of Life is Strange. We're gonna play the next 3. I don't know if we'll finish it tonight. We might. But definitely we're going to finish it tomorrow if we don't. And then we're going to play the Arkham games. I've been promising playing the Arkham Knight for Halloween, because Arkham Knight takes place on Halloween. And the Arkham series is one of my favorite series of all time. Yes, yes. But yeah, my model is roughly, my original model was very closely based off of the White Star Line uniforms, the ship line that ran the RMS Titanic that hit an iceberg and sank. My new model is based very loosely off of their dress white uniforms. I worked with my artist, and we decided to kind of bougie it up a little bit and embellish a little bit more. So it's not lore accurate, but it looks very, very good. I like it a lot. Yeah. So yeah, that's me. All my artists are below in the about section if you're interested. We right now are just looking at some pictures I took while at the Titanic Museum in Las Vegas. If you ever go to Las Vegas, I would suggest, if you have any interest in Titanic, or just passing, if you have passing interest even, this museum is actually one of the best collections of Titanic artifacts. They actually brought up artifacts from Titanic in submersibles, and they have one of the largest collections in the world. So very, very, very cool place to check out. It's in the Luxor Hotel, the big hotel in Vegas that looks like a pyramid. Yeah. Very, very odd, like unexpected place for this to be, but here it is. You look like you go down with the ship. I am a captain. So yeah, I would have to go down. with the ship. Salutes. That's actually kind of so a captain is expected is required to render aid to their passengers. So abandoning ship is while your passengers are still on board if you could have rendered aid to them, is definitely considered unreasonable. And captains have been jailed. Captain Scatino of Costa Concordia, he went to jail for, I think he might still be in jail. No, I think he's out by now. But he was sentenced to like 7 years or something like that for abandoning the Costa Concordia. He was one of the first to get off the ship. Costa Concordia, it's a Concordia Line ship, a very large cruise ship. Recently, like in last 10 years, it sank. It hit a it had a lesion. It collided with a rock. It was sailing too close to shore, doing a sail by salute. There was some navigation issues. There was also some crew training issues. The helmsman did not in fact follow the captain's orders and did the complete wrong helm rudder maneuvers. Even though he was given the correct avoidance orders, and he didn't follow them. Yeah. Gifted sub, let's go. Let's go. They're on sale. They're on sale. We had some new emotes, friends. We got some new emotes. So if you get, we've discounted it heavily. 2,500 channel points right now. So be sure to take advantage. I love it. That's one of our older emotes. We do have some new ones too. I love the old emotes. But we got some new ones. Let's see, which ones are the new ones? We actually have one more new one coming, but I had some issues getting it to upload to Twitch because of the number of frames. So we have an animated emote that's still in the pipe. I need to fix the number of frames in it because it's too big for Twitch. But it'll be the toothless dance. Yeah. So one of the new ones I have is the Lethal Company dance. Yeah. But yes, if you get 2,500 channel points, that actually doesn't take too long to get. Doesn't take too long to get. So you just hang out, you chat. Yeah, by the way, yeah. I don't blame him. The ocean is scary. Yeah, no, the ocean is terrifying. The ocean is absolutely terrifying. But yeah, if you get 2,500 channel points and you don't have a sub, I will gift you a sub. If you do have a sub, you can ask me to gift it to a person of your choice or out to the community. Whichever. But you have to have that sub first. Yeah. So 2,500 channel points doesn't take too long. I will be streaming a lot this week. I will be streaming for a couple hours today, and then tomorrow I'm going to try to do 12 hours. Friday I'm going to try to do 12 hours. We'll see. And then Saturday I'm going to try to do at least 8 hours. So yeah, hang out. Follow if you haven't already and you're interested in getting these emotes for free. Hang out, get the channel points. Chatting, staying for raids gets you channel points. Yeah. Pretty cool. Yeah. Yeah, I love them. I got quite a few. These are my older ones, but they are really cool as well. And we'll have one more. So these are my older animated emotes. I love them a lot. Love my new ones. I got one more new animated emote coming. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is a recreation. The photo we're on now. This is a recreation of Titanic's promenade. It was underneath the boat deck, and part of the actually this is a partially enclosed. The front and rear parts of the promenade actually had glass windows that could be lowered. It could be raised and lowered, provide some protection from ocean spray. And if it was kind of stormy, they could be raised to try to keep the ocean out a little bit more. But if they were to abandon ship, the plan actually was to lower the boats down to this deck, have the passengers climb into the boats over this railing, and then they would lower them down. For the most part, Titanic, the boats were loaded on deck, on the boat deck, which is one deck up, except for one was partially lowered down early on and actually sat there for like significant portion for almost until the Titanic sank. They, they put a couple passengers in, they lowered it down to A deck, and then they kind of just forgot about it. Until one of so the reason is the windows were up that day, the glass was up, and an officer told a steward to go and find the key to unlock the windows to lower them, and apparently he got caught up doing something else, so they were just sitting there. This is one of Titanic's binnacles. A binnacle is it's crazy. Yeah, Titanic was there's so many crazy stories. There's so many crazy stories about just the details of what went on and how little time the crew actually had. A lot of the movies depict it like they had so much time to do everything, but there was just so much going on. There was very few officers. And there was so much going on. The captain was giving out order. One of the things that we see in a lot of the movies is all the officers line up, the captain gets in front of them and he's giving each one of them individual orders. That's not how it happened at all. It was the officer would just kind of file in, the captain would be like, "What are you doing?" They're like, "Waiting order." And it was like, "You go do X, Y, and Z." And then the captain would go off and he was looking for, there wasn't an organized, everyone has their responsibilities. It was just as things came up, the captain found somebody, assigned them to task, and then moved on. So it was it was very chaotic. It was an organized chaos, but it was very chaotic. One thing the movies don't depict well is they just kind of fire off all the orders, get them out of the way to get back into the drama. But yeah, it was not super organized. This is one of the ship's binnacles. It's a housing for a compass. The band on the ship be like, "Feels okay, man." Guitar, yeah. The band, poor band. All the band members died. All of them. Yeah. They were very instrumental in saving lives, though. They really did a lot to keep passengers calm. Almost too calm, though. The passengers knew that there was something wrong with the ship, and that's another misconception, that the passengers were really arrogant and were really like, "Oh, this ship can't sink." They said that, but they didn't actually believe it. I remember before all the Boeing, recent Boeing issues, even the 737 Max, which I did fly on a 737 Max, by the way. 737 Max with the MCAS issues that was causing them to crash, the recent quality issues with newer builds, the issues with the 787 and the 777 that Boeing's been having. Before all of those, one thing you heard a lot in the aviation community was how safe the Boeing 787 was, because there hasn't been a single crash of a 787 that has resulted in fatalities. There's been a couple on the ground collisions, but none have actually crashed during flight. And that's still true today. The 787 has not experienced a crash with a fatality even today. So you hear that stat about how safe the Boeing 787 is and how extremely unlikely it is to die in a 787, which is true, which is very true. But we can all imagine a 787 crashing, right? It wasn't something beyond the realm of imagination. That's kind of how the attitudes towards Titanic were. Not that it couldn't sink, because ships sinking isn't all that rare back then. It was getting to the point where ships were crossing the Atlantic Ocean via large steamliner was extremely safe. The White Star Line at that point, I think they had transported over 2 million passengers. Over 2 million passengers without a single fatality from a collision with another ship or object. So they were like, these ships are getting really safe. And the Titanic, the Olympic class design was one of the safest, one of the best designs at the time. The Titanic was not poorly designed at all. In fact, it probably could have survived the damage that Costa Concordia took, which is a modern ship, right? So the passengers definitely knew something was wrong, and they definitely didn't think that somehow the ship couldn't possibly, under any circumstances, sink. But you're in this seemingly very sturdy, well-built ship, and they want you to get in these tiny little rowboats. And evacuating a ship is actually extremely dangerous. A lot of people die during evacuations. So you have passengers saying, well, do I want to stay on this seemingly okay ship or get on this little tiny boat? It's like below freezing right now, and we're going to be in the water. If the boat turns over, if anything happens, we're going to die like instantly. So a lot of passengers were very nervous about, they were kind of like, which is worse? And the band kind of helped keep people calm and really keep people feeling like everything was normal, everything's fine. They also caused the passengers to pile up, I believe, on the starboard side. I might have that wrong, but the passengers really concentrated on the side of the ship the band was on, which caused that side to be overloaded with passengers and the other side to be completely underloaded with passengers. That's one of the reasons why on one side of the ship, they only allowed women and children into the boats. On the other side, they allowed women and children first, and then they always had plenty of room in the boats, so they would let any men that were around hop into those boats. Yeah. Got to work? Yeah. Have a lovely stream. Take care. Thank you again for the raid. I'm glad you enjoyed Phasmo. Have a good night, and hopefully work is hopefully have a nice day at work, a nice, calm, easy day at work. But yeah, the binnacle. Actually, hold on. Let me I'm gonna switch scenes real quick. If you look at the banner on my Twitch page, also in my schedule, we have a binnacle. Let me pull this up. Stream. Yeah. So this is where the compass is housed, and it's a brass enclosure that helps keep the compass stable and magnetically isolated from the ship to keep a true bearing on the compass. There's also a level in there that will tell you how much the ship is rolling and pitching and yawing, and it'll tell you kind of how the ship is rolling in the ocean. It has a backlight in it. It's magnetically isolated, and here's a piece of artwork I had done for my schedule by Foxology, Chaotic Void Energy on Twitter. They did this for us. But this is one of the binnacles on the bridge of Titanic, and it's got these two balls, these two globes, and these actually are used to do fine adjustments because you can't completely. The ship is a giant steel. It's a giant piece of steel, so the ship will eventually get its own magnetic field. So the ship will as it's pushing through the water, it'll pick up charge. It doesn't have any way to discharge that electric charge, and it'll create its own magnetic field. So the compass can be adjusted by further isolating the magnetic field in these two I forget what they're called. But yeah, this is a binnacle. It's one on the bridge. There's one actually in the wheelhouse, which is back here. You can't. It's on the left. It would be to the left where these windows are. So the wheelhouse is where the helmsman is. There's a. You can see there's a magnetic, there's a attachment here, where this forward wheel is not generally used except when docking the ship. A pilot will come on board who is also a captain and who is very familiar with the port and will help to guide the ship into port and will steer the ship from this platform so he has better visibility. The helmsman doesn't need to see out. So the officers will give the helmsman command and he will steer the ship either to a course, he has his own binnacle back there, to a course that they specify, or they might say, 30 degree, hard to starboard, hard to port, and they'll just follow those tiller commands on Titanic. Titanic had tiller commands, not rudder commands. So a tiller, think like a rowboat has a tiller. If you push the tiller to the right, the bow of the rowboat will turn left. If you push the tiller to the left, then the bow will go right. So Titanic used tiller commands. So hard to starboard. The helmsman would turn the wheel to starboard, but the bow of the nose would go to port. Modern ships use rudder command. So when you say hard to starboard, you turn the wheel starboard, the ship steers starboard. But yeah, that's the binnacle, or one of the binnacles. There was also one between funnels 2 and 3. There was also one on the aft of the ship. There's another place they can control the ship. They can control the rudder, and they could also send telegraph commands to the engine room from the aft deck. They call that the docking bridge on the rear of the ship. This is the actual compass removed. There's a gong. This is actually one of the alarms in the boiler room that would sound. It would ring. They had a little ringer, a little bell that they would ring to alert them that the watertight doors were closing and to get out of the boiler rooms, actually. This is one of the helms of the ship. Not much left of it. It's mostly wood. This is interesting. This is a bunch of dishes. I think these are, I can't remember. These are some kind of serving dishes, but they were found this way in the sand. There's a picture of them. So they had embedded themselves like in the sand and they were just found that way and were sitting down there for 100 years like that, which is crazy. This is a windlass for holding the ship down, tie ropes to it. They had this very, very large, it's hard to appreciate the scale and it's very dark. So sorry about the picture being so grainy. This is a very large scale model of the wreck of Titanic. It's huge. Like it was, I'm 6 foot tall and it's taller than I, like if I were standing here, my head would be like here. So it's actually quite massive. This is one of the deck chairs. Part of the brass of the deck chair was recovered. And this is the big piece. This is the biggest piece of Titanic that has been raised. This is part of the hull of Titanic. The Titanic was very, very well constructed. This thing is huge. It is hard to appreciate the scale. Again, I would probably we couldn't get too close. It's hard to appreciate how big this is in the picture, but I would probably be like maybe up to here on it if I was standing right next to it. This is one of the porthole windows. Still has glass in it, which is crazy. It survived. Quite large also. Like probably, I don't know, like maybe I don't know. It's hard to describe how big it is. But it's much larger than I thought it would be. Big piece. That's where they think the big piece came from. Yeah, it took them 2 years to bring it up. It's a huge, huge effort. Another porthole with a piece of glass still intact in it. This is the back of the big piece. Back in time for class. Welcome in. We're just looking at the big piece. This is the largest section of Titanic ever raised. Yo, Tom, thank you for the prime. Let's go. I appreciate that. Please enjoy those emotes. Please enjoy. I really appreciate the prime. You only get one. You only get one a month. Thank you for using it on me. But this, yeah, massive piece of Titanic. Really, really cool. Let's go. You got the smug emote. I love them. It's the backside of the big piece. This was a piece of clothing, a nightgown, from, well, William Henry Allen. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they did not survive Titanic. I can't remember. I need to look that up. There was a Japanese businessman. Mr. Honsono, who survived Titanic. Was able to reach the boat deck, and boarded a boat. He wrote about his experience in the night, finally returned to Japan, media mounted, and he was ostracized. Yeah. He was ostracized for surviving. He was ostracized for making it to a boat. You know, he was seen as, back in Japan, as dishonorable, which is crazy. It's like, oh, you survived? How dare? How dare? You know, it's a different culture. There was some, bro got done dirty. Yeah. And yeah, once it was contextualized how he survived, what had happened, you know, but he was long dead. You know, he was long dead after his name got restored. Heard some dude on Titanic survived for being absolutely hammered. Yep. That alcohol kept him warm enough to live. So yes and no. Alcohol does not, like, if you are cold, do not drink alcohol. It actually will, because alcohol causes your veins to dilate. It constricts blood flow. It actually reduces blood flow. So your body will be more susceptible to the cold. But it'll make you feel warm. It won't actually make you warmer. It won't make your body be able to recover and stay warm efficiently. Yeah. But that is true. The baker on Titanic, he got hammered drunk. He knew the score. He knew that the ship was doomed. He was one of the first to see the water. But he did help tremendously. He stocked a lot of the boats with bread and other provisions. He helped to deploy life rings, life preservers. He helped to distribute life vests, which didn't help all that much, but they did. You know, he also, as the Titanic was sinking, he started throwing deck chairs that were buoyant to try to provide some refuge for the passengers. But yeah, no, he helped stock the boats. He helped get the boats ready. He helped passengers. He got hammered drunk. He went into the water. And luckily he was able to get to one of the overturned collapsible lifeboats, and eventually he was able to get on board and survive. Yeah. W alcohol. Yeah. No, he was out there. He was working till the end. He might have been a little drunk, but he was still putting in work. He got his feet wet. He didn't get into a boat until his feet got wet, which that was something that was considered honorable. If you got into a boat, but you got your feet wet first, then you were fine. You were fine. Drew, hello. Nice model, thank you. We're looking at some pictures from Titanic, the Titanic Museum, in Las Vegas, in the Luxor. check it out if you're ever in Vegas. It is very, very good. Very, very good. I went there. I was there a couple days ago, actually. Yeah, I was there. Oh, what day was I there? I don't remember what day I was there. It was Friday. Friday, yeah. Nice pun on bod. Gotcha, gotcha. Thank you, thank you. But yes, it is a nice spot, isn't it? Our artist did a great job. Marky did a great job. Love the model. I need to adjust. I always get this. Hold on, I can just do this. I always get this one wrong. I need to get this fixed so that I'm not so close. So I'm not so close. But yeah, I did a good job. Got the hair. Whip my hair back and forth. It's not lore accurate. It's not lore accurate, but I really like it. It looks really, really good. But yeah, we're looking at some Titanic photos, and then we're gonna play some Life is Strange. We're gonna play some Life is Strange here in a bit. But yeah, a lot of passengers were, Jay Bruce Ismay, who was the owner of Lightstar Line, he survived. He didn't get his feet wet. He got onto a boat, but he was on the side of the boat where there was not a lot of passengers gathering, and he did help many passengers get into boats. He did convey the urgency of passengers getting into boats. From the get-go, he knew he knew Titanic was doing. He was one of the first to know Titanic was going to sink, and he really treated it as, get into a boat as quickly as possible. Get your life vest on. He was putting in work. He got a really bad rap. But yeah, he got into a boat. Jay Bruce Ismay. He was never seen the same. He was kind of seen as a coward. Honestly, nobody. Hello. I've been watching a playthrough of Double Exposure. Yeah. I haven't watched any. We just did our first 2 chapters, but I've seen a lot of people playing it, and I've been avoiding the spoilers best I can. The boatist of all time. Honestly, nobody. Hello. I hope you're doing well. I took some pictures while I was at the Titanic Museum in Vegas, in Luxor. One of the has some of the most artifacts of any museum. Oh, we're coming to the end. And actually, before I go forward, let me check something. I want to make sure I don't dox myself here unintentionally. Okay, no. Your new model has bags in the eyes. Need some sleep. Yeah, yeah. I need more sleep. Don't end up like me. Get plenty of beauty rests. But yeah, it was a very, very good museum. It was badass indeed. I can't remember how. I want to say it was like $40, something like that. It's in the back of the Luxor Hotel and Casino. So it's a very odd. The Luxor is the big pyramid in Vegas. Very odd place to find a Titanic museum. They also have a really good Egypt museum. I didn't go to the Egyptian museum. They also have an exhibit called Bodies, which is I don't it's about dead bodies. I don't know really what it was about. I wasn't really interested in that one. Yeah, very odd curators there. But they do have an ancient Egypt museum, which is I hear is very, very, very good. Like if you want to see everything, you need to spend like a whole day, like 8 hours there. Be funny if someone set up a little pedestal with a game controller in the corner for the other Titan in the corner for the other Titanic. True, true. There is a Titanic game that I actually have the demo for, and I was gonna play it, or not play it. There's not really. It's called Titanic Honor and Glory. It is going to be phenomenal when it comes out. Um, I've been following the creators, and it's probably going to be the most accurate rendition of the most accurate 3D model of Titanic ever made. I think I saw. Yeah, yeah. It's I have been through the demo, and it looks. It's very well put together. It's going to be a very, very accurate model of Titanic, and there's going to be a game in it too. Old game from the 90s as well. I'm not familiar with that one, but when you come into the museum, you get this boarding pass, which is really cool. And on the back of it, you get an actual you get an actual passenger. We were Mr. Hosono, excuse me. And it tells their story. He's an employee of the Japanese Railroad Institute, spent 2 years in Siberia studying their rail networks, was returning home to his wife and 4 children by way of London and the United States. Mr. Hosono was the only Japanese passenger on board Titanic. His family descended from a long line of samurai warriors. And yeah, he was disgraced for surviving and not getting his feet wet. Japan at this time was crazy about rail, developing their rail network. So yeah, they went around to try to get as much information about how they were obsessed with industrialization. Mm-hmm. The developer is Cyberflix. I might have to check it out. I don't know if I don't know. I might have to check that out. I've not heard of that. But yeah, Japan was very, very, very big on, and there's still, Japanese rail networks are renowned. When the Empire of Japan, when Imperial Japan invaded Korea, they actually were very big on building rail networks through Korea to help, exploit the resources. Korea was very, very renowned for their agriculture. So they were exploiting their agricultural resources. Also, I think they had pretty ample coal supplies. They still do, especially North Korea actually has significant coal reserves. But yeah, basically they really developed Korea's rail network and industrialized Korea when they invaded Korea. So yeah, sending employees overseas checks out. This was before Japan hadn't gone full empire yet. Actually, in World War I, Japan was more on the side of the Allies than the Central Powers, and was actually awarded some. They did fight. I want to say it was Germany had some colonies in Southeast Asia that Japan took or prevent. They participated in World War I, and they were actually given some by the League of Nations. They were given some. I believe it was German land. I might be wrong about that. This was my hotel. I did not like it very much, but that's okay. You don't stay there for the hotel. I will stay at a better hotel if I ever go back. Had a delicious. I didn't eat a whole lot actually. I didn't spend a lot of time like chowing down. I kind of I spent some time chowing, but I was trying to see the sights and do the things. This was a restaurant. I can't remember who recommended this restaurant. I wish I did. It's called Dirty Dog. Dirty Dog. They had a couple of them down there. This was the one that was in a cool little like outdoor mall near the Horseshoe Casino. And this was it was a bacon wrap dog with peppers and onions, ketchup, mayo, mustard, and bacon bits. It was really, really good. The bun was like you can barely. The dog was huge, but the bun is just so pillowy and the bun was it helps hold together because there's a lot of toppings in this thing. This is the mall. So yeah, it had some clothing stores. It had some touristy little gift shops. It had a ramen shop I wanted to go to, but I wasn't able to make it back. Yeah, a bunch of little shops from the Horseshoe Casino. Kind of the north end of the strip, I want to say. I might be completely wrong. It's on one of the sides of the strip. Another picture of the mall. Very cozy. It was very nice. There's the ramen shop I wanted to go to, by the way. Yeah. It actually looked really good. Indoor seating only on the ramen shop, though. And it actually had some decent Yelp. It was like 4.8 on Yelp or something like that, which was very little up that high when I was there. But yeah, cool little outdoor mall. The shops had indoor, outdoor. Some of them, the Dirty Dog was only outdoor, but they had some shops that were mixed. Really nice. Like it was like 70 degrees, but I can imagine if you went like at the wrong time of year when it's like 110 degrees, this place would probably be absolutely miserable. It wasn't jam packed, but getting here was pretty. The sidewalks around the strip can get very, very jam packed. Oh, I did make it to Area 15. Area 15. I'm sure you've seen it. There's been a lot of streamers that have been there, and streamed it. It's very cool. It's a very like I don't know for like it's like a kind of make believe dystopian kind of like Five Nights at Freddy's kind of weird unusual world, like a kind of a gimmicky, not a gimmicky, but like a basically like you're in this like Five Nights at Freddy type world, where they have all these wacky things they're selling that I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe, but you got to go there. I didn't do too much here. Entry into Area 15 is free, but entry into anything cool is not. So to get into like Mega Mart or Omega Mart, excuse me, this is the arcade. You can get into the arcade for free. There's a bar, both up on the top floor and the bottom floor. Really cool. Had tons and tons of pinball machines and various coin op machines, arcade machines. Tons of different games there. Really cool. Tons of bars everywhere. The Omega Mart. You can't really buy anything there, but it's got all these wacky products that you've been here? Yeah. It's pretty cool. Yeah, there's the top from the top deck. There's also zip line kind of thing. Not really zip lines, but there's like a tram zip line thing that people were like, you could see the bar up here. People were flying around all the time. Omega Mart was super packed. It was super expensive to get. Well, not super. It was like, I want to say it was like $25. Each little shop was like $25 to get into. That wasn't like a bar or a clothing shop or something, which is kind of lame, but I was gone for a sec, but we went around while we were here. Omega Mart was weird. Yeah, very weird. Yeah, I didn't go in. I've seen so many people, like there's been a lot of streamers that have like there wouldn't be any surprises. Like I've seen hours of Omega Mart, so it looks really funny. It was a cool place to go, cool place to get a drink. The drinks were silly expensive though. So do watch out for that. But it was cool. It was a nice atmosphere. Yeah, very, very cool. Very demure. This is the top floor of that arcade. I think it was called the Asylum Arcade, something like that. But yeah, really big. They had upstairs. They had a larger bar, tons and tons of pinball. You can see on the left side rows of arcades. There's also some behind me. Tons of arcades were open too. How you'd see a grocery store? Yes, yeah. It's definitely like a grocery store in an effed up dream. Yeah, it was very interesting concept of a place. They have VR. I didn't go in, but they have a VR like army of like a zombie thing. But I guess you can like put on VR goggles and like move around. It's huge, like basketball court size area. Out front, they had this this funny little zombie food truck. It's not real. Like there's no food. It's just like a old, like, but it's like they were selling tacos and now they're selling headshots. They were selling quesadillas. You know, now they're selling, leg and arm shots. Yeah, see how many zombies they've killed. Their tally marks. A taco to kill for. Yeah, really funny stuff like this. Out front, at Area 15, they have this like lunar rover thing. I don't even know what this is. It looks like an ARF truck, like a firefighting truck for airports, but it also looks kind of like a lunar rover. Oh yeah, I went to Penn and Teller. Penn and Teller. The Penn and Teller have their own theater in the Rio. I didn't take any pictures of the show because I'm pretty sure I would get struck down by the fury of 1,000 suns. They're a magic act that does a lot of like kind of debunking the magic of magic. Like everything can be explained rationally. Is kind of their act. They don't explain everything. They don't explain other tricks. But they're rational magicians that make fun. They admire magic, but they also kind of make fun of the silliness of the fact that magic is not actually magic, right? It's all talent and misdirection. Does the shorter of the two ever get to speak? Not during the show. He does speak. Like they did one act where he was not on the stage. Well, he was on stage, but he was basically playing a animatronic gorilla, and then he was speaking, but it was the gorilla speaking, not him. But like when he's on stage, it's all Penn doing all the talking. Yeah. So yeah, they're magicians. Penn is the taller guy. Teller is the smaller guy. Very, very, very good magicians. Extremely talented. Very good show. Would recommend to go if you like magic. They have they're a comedic magic act. Yeah, they are extremely secular. Like they're anti-religious, which I don't have any problem with people who are I consider myself religious. But I have no problem with people who are not religious or even anti-religious at all. But I could see that they can be a little bit offensive if you are religious. I wasn't offended. I didn't care. I thought they were hilarious. I was cracking up the whole time. But they do dig very much into, like God isn't real kind of thing. Which again doesn't bother me in the slightest. But I know some people would be. So this is again the Luxor. This is where Titanic was. I was actually heading to the Chiefs game. Yeah. So Allegiant Stadium is just like behind me, actually, directly behind me. And there's Allegiant Stadium. They had a show called Bullshit. Yeah. So they debunk a lot of stuff that may not be entirely true or is based in superstition or based in yeah. I do want to see their show. They still do Fool Us. I don't know. I think they're on their 15th season. Fool Us is just phenomenal. I love Fool Us. That show cracks me up. It's where they bring other magicians on and they try to get the magicians to fool them If they can guess how the magicians did their trick, then they weren't fooled. But if they are fooled, then they get this like foolish plaque, and they've actually helped propel a lot of magicians to fame. It's a really, really good show. I've only seen it on like I've only streamed it, and I've not seen it live. That was the first show of theirs I've seen live, and it was very good. Allegiant Stadium, one of the newest stadiums in the NFL. It's a very, very good stadium. Yep. So Chiefs Raiders. Chiefs won 27-20. 7 points. Very, very close game the whole game. You'd see a lot of red. A lot of Chiefs fans were there. Let's go. I've been a Chiefs fan my entire life. I've not been to an away game though. I've only been to home games. They're very expensive. Very, 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 very expensive. This is inside Allegiant Stadium. This is looking out towards the Strip. Very cool stadium. Indoor, air conditioned, of course, because Vegas gets crazy hot. The game was good. Definitely had a problem with there was definitely a lot of the Raiders fans are a lot. They are definitely not the most polite people. There was a lot of instigators, guys. This is walking back. So basically they close off this whole bridge between the Strip, because the Allegiant Stadium is kind of in the middle of nowhere. It's like the Strip is way over here. It's like half a mile over here. There's actually the bridge right there. You can see it right here. So basically they close off this entire roadway. And then once you get to the Strip, you can go into the Luxor, or you can go into any of these casinos, and they're pretty much all connected. There's also a tram that connects all the way down to here. So you could ride the tram all the way back up towards the north side of the Strip. I think that's north. I might be stupid. But yeah, so we walk across that bridge. Lots of people. And I walked back to, this is, I think, Mandela Bay. There's a sushi restaurant I stopped in. Really, 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 really nice. Got me some sushi. I think these are salmon nigiri, I believe. I got some eel nigiri back here, and I got some soft shell crab. There's Luxor again. This thing is freaking huge. They have a Sphinx out in front of it. They also have an esports arena, which is cool. This thing is freaking huge. Like, this is the tram I was talking about. So, like, a train would go up to here. Like, an entire train car would be like that. This thing is freaking massive. It was crazy. It's hard to convey, like, in the photos. On the Strip, looking north. The tram goes all the way to here. Like I said, that's where I was pointing to, and like all the way to this New York. So that was like from here, the front side, all the way up to here, which is pretty nice. I didn't ride it. It would have been too, like, with all these people, it would have been way too packed. There's the New York. They have this gigantic Statue of Liberty, and this facade of New York, which is huge. This Statue of Liberty, I don't know how tall it is, but like, here's the bridge we're on, and you can see how much taller that is, like, than this huge bridge. Oh, and sorry if you got jump scared by the thunder. I don't know if you can hear that. Perfect timing. We have they had a Stranger Things store. Really, really fun. They were out of a lot of stuff, so I didn't buy. I wanted to buy like a shirt. They only had like small and medium. Yeah, I'm 6 foot tall, so that wouldn't cut it. That wasn't gonna cut it. This actually, I'm still finishing the final episode of Stranger Things. I was watching it a little bit on the plane. So I still got the final episode to watch. I can't remember what this guy's called. This guy's called The Mind Flare was season 2. What was this guy's called? Vega? Something like that. Vecna. That's right. Thank you, Drew. Vecna. So they had like a wax of Vecna. Oh, and that's it. That's that. I'm flying home now. I was tired. I was tired. I think I walked like, I don't know, like 22, 23,000 steps that day alone. So the Stranger Things store was the last thing I hit on this on the strip as it was coming back from the game. So yep. This is the strip from the air. There's a Harry Reid Airport. Very big airport, one of the highest traffic in the country. And the strip. Yeah. That's it. We're not gonna stop streaming though there.